television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports, and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TV and Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained at the edge of your seats, and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your #1 choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on NightComSat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road, Beaufort Park, Colindale, London. For inquiries,
Daybreak Africa is your one-stop top-notch breakfast show that brings you all the interesting stories happening in and around Africa.
Because we have all the morning essentials,
including the latest news, sports, weather, and events. And of course, the people.
Daybreak Africa on Television Nigeria.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Good morning, this is Daybreak Africa here on Television Nigeria. I hope you all slept fine. My name is Mercy Joe.
And my name is Elvis Oga. Remember to always follow us at our live feed at www.tvn.news. Good morning, Mercy.
Good morning, Elvis. It was fine. We thank God, we bless God. At least we are here and hearty this morning.
We actually sounded very calm this morning.
But I can say for the 242 new cases of
242
42 new cases.
Like the way the figures keep coming in, like the day we see 100 and something, another day we see 30 something, and then back to 242 again.
And now making the total cases in Nigeria 4,641 cases with 150 deaths and then 902 recoveries. I think there's still hope for the recoveries. If we're having about 902 recoveries, it means there's still hope.
Like, it's not all bad.
Yeah.
Like, we cannot talk about the pandemic, even though it's quite worrisome. But like we said, when the confirmed cases were about 2,000 and we saw up to 7 something death, we were quite skeptical that, okay, what will happen with 5,000? But to an extent, I think the authorities or the health workers who actually have been in the front line of the battle against COVID-19 has in a way been able to record some improvement regarding the fatality we've seen so far.
Yes. And although the NCDC is still hitting on the point that Nigerians are still not going about it the right way, they're still not listening to what the guidelines they have provided for the people.
Yeah.
They see people still violating, not putting on their face masks, not abiding by social distancing, and then it calls for more worries for the NCDC because they realize that there was a hike in the cases immediately the lockdown was eased. So they feel that if Nigeria still failed to comply to the guidelines, probably, most probably, the cases will keep going higher and higher and higher. And when the cases keep going higher and higher, what do we talk about the bed spaces? Although I think 400 hospitals has been provided by the bishops.
When we're looking at the fate of Nigerians while the lockdown was eased, we're actually looking at, okay, a large chunk of the responsibility is being pushed to Nigerians or to the indigenes or citizens on how well they could go about this. Like we were talking about, let a stronger immune system survive. But I actually love the way that the different state governors have actually taken it upon themselves to see that, okay, in their own state, they have been doing their bits and pieces to see that the pandemic is contained to an extent where we've seen expansion of these bed spaces across the various states and other measures that they have actually put in place to see that, okay, the virus or the pandemic does not overwhelm us.
And someone who is really doing a nice one in Lagos State, trying to move around all the corners in Lagos State, saying that hotels, bars, and all those gatherings are not opened. Even the FCT, one would have thought that people used to the nightlife will try to find a way to make sure they still go about all these things. But we see that these days, nothing like that. You go to where before, you don't see anybody there. They're not opening up anything. I think Governor Wiki, I think lots of reactions.
Yes, I've been trailing what has been happening in River State. I actually saw this morning where somebody was complaining of people might actually die of other conditions
apart from COVID-19.
Because he actually recounted how he met people on the way where a husband had to carry his wife at the back on the way to the hospital because there was no transport because everywhere was on lockdown. So he was talking about it, and I believe we actually saw the need for that. So I just got an information that the lockdown is going to be eased in 2 local governments in River State for today and tomorrow, then back to the complete or total lockdown.
So that's a brighter light regardless.
True. Even
if at least he's still providing measures and then still providing kind of little solutions to other complaints apart from COVID-19. Like you see in the case of Kano when we're talking about the deaths that are going on, and then people are saying some of these deaths are not just COVID-19. Most of them are like other illnesses, other health issues like diabetes, people that have undergoing dialysis, lots of things, other illnesses. So when the hospitals are not opened for them to assess their healthcare services,
their health will
definitely break down, and then they die in the process. So that's the thing. I think the state governments should start looking inwards. Like, it's not just about saying that there's people, it's only COVID-19 we're combating it. There are other illnesses that were outstanding before COVID-19 came into the picture.
Okay, talking about Kano, they have extended their own lockdown by 1 week. Yes. Initially, when the lockdown was announced by the president and the state governor came out to talk about the president actually giving them a 1 week ease so that people could actually restock their homes and see how they could go about the fasting period. Nigerians were kind of skeptical about what this man was up to. But for him to go ahead to negotiate with the president and other health authorities to see that this lockdown is being extended, I think Nigerians will not know that this man is down for real business.
No, he's really down for real business. Let's talk about the Almajiris. The Almajiris are still moving from one state to another state. And I think I was saying yesterday when I think most of these Almajiris that have been tested negative have been reunited with their families.
Particularly in Kaduna State.
Yeah, so it still boils down to a question, do all these governors actually know what they're doing? Because before now, there has been lots of talks about the Almajiris on the streets. So wait, you're trying to tell me that they actually had families that they were supposed to go to before? You see, this is the problem. Nigeria had lots of problems to deal with and challenges before COVID-19. So it looks like COVID-19 now brought the ugly part of Nigeria. So many things that were not touched, so many rules that were not bent or bent on being implemented and all of that. So you see this Almajiri. So now is the time that they feel that they can take drastic decision about the Almajiris.
Because when we're talking about the COVID-19, we're actually looking at, okay, let's not look at the bad side of it or the ugly side. Let's look at the opportunities this deadly pandemic came with. So I actually saw a comment from Nigeria yesterday on a section where he said, thanks to COVID-19, who actually exposed some of those things, because gradually we're trying to get some of these things right.
Yes, exactly. So you see, now most of these almajiris, it all boils down to the fact that family planning needs to be taken very seriously,
True.
most especially in the northern region of Nigeria.
Joseph.
Yes.
They need to be taken very seriously and all of that. And even these children, most of these children are actually orphans. So why don't they create like orphanage homes for mostly the almajiris? Although I think some of them are put in place, but then I think they still purposely send these almajiris to the street to beg for money and come and bring it back to their supposed imams.
Yes.
So it's something to really deliberate on and think about. The state government, they should sit down together and have real solid talks. Now, how do they know that the roots of this almajiris is really not Kano State, is really not Gombe State, is really not Katsina? How do they know?
That's one intriguing part of the whole system, where these people can actually get reunited with their family. Like do I say overwhelmed, but I didn't just find it funny. Like all this could actually be done. And the drastic improvement we've seen regarding the cases with almajiri is the fact that these people, when you talk about some of this system, people from a particular part of the country might not want to bend to it, but we've seen governors from this same part of the country leading this fight or leading this cause right now. So it's like a bit of fresh air.
I've actually been doing some things myself. I think we still have like some elections to be done in Ondo State and Edo State this particular year. And I'm asking, is it in the middle of COVID-19 that this is actually going to take place? Because we still see other African countries that are still holding elections despite COVID-19.
You see,
so what are the measures they would take?
There were actually speculation that those elections were supposed to be postponed, but the INEC came out to say they have not really announced
if it will be postponed or not. So if it's not going to be postponed, what do they? Are they going to try to think of other possible ways that elections can take place in Nigeria? Someone was talking about internet voting.
True. And you know, we've been clamoring for e-voting, where you don't really need to transport from where you are residing to where you register before you can actually cast your vote. If we could do that, have a good database where we could do all of that, I think a lot of malpractices will not take place.
Are you sure it won't take place? Technology these days is so manipulative. People can do anything in technology.
If your BVN can actually be intact and nobody hampers with your account, maybe such measures could actually be taken. But
that same BVN, we have lots of people that call and say, send me your BVN number, I want to do this for your account, and people actually fall prey to this and they get hold of their BVN.
It boils down to how much awareness we create to that regard.
Okay, this is still Daybreak Africa. We have Susan Archie in the building for the news.
Good morning. Good morning, Elvis.
Good morning.
I'm doing great.
You're looking like
so calm and gentle.
No, I want to say something. You're looking like a superstar this morning.
Now, every day I look like something.
She's actually a superstar. So I know a whole lot of news is actually up. So how are we looking at today?
Well, there's lots from COVID-19 to business. Good news in the business world, sad one in the entertainment scene, but we'll be going onto the news desk to get some more details.
I hope you have some entertainment just for us.
Of course.
All right.
Apart from COVID-19.
Good morning and welcome to AM News. I am Susan Achin. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 242 new cases of the novel coronavirus in 14 states in Nigeria, bringing the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases to 4,641 nationwide. Of the cases, 902 patients have been discharged, while 150 deaths have so far been recorded. Health Minister Osage Hanire has revealed plans by the federal government and the Federal Ministry of Health to get the Madagascar herbal cure to COVID-19. The minister disclosed this on Monday while briefing journalists at the Presidential Task Force briefing on COVID-19. He noted that the plan is to get the herbal product and subject it to analysis to see how it works and how it is used. Ondo State has recorded its first death from coronavirus. The Commissioner for Health in the state, Dr. Wahab Adigbenro, confirmed this on Monday. Ondo has reported 15 cases of COVID-19 with 8 active cases and 1 fatality. 6 other patients who recovered from the disease have since been discharged. The Ekiti State government has discharged 5 COVID-19 patients after successfully managing them. In a tweet on Monday, the Ekiti State COVID-19 task force noted that they were discharged after the results tested negative to the virus. With this development, the tweet further noted Ekiti State now has 5 active cases of COVID-19 as of 8:30 p.m. yesterday. Of the infected number 15, 1 death has been recorded so far in the southwest state, with 9 discharged, the statement added. We now move into Benue State, where the Action Committee on COVID-19 says it has intercepted a Boko-bound 15-seater bus from Lagos conveying one person who tested positive from Lagos but decided to return home following advice from his mother. Briefing journalists after the expanded meeting with the state governor, Samuel Otom, chairman of the committee, Benson Abaonu, said that all 15 passengers, including the positive case from Lagos, have been isolated and the samples taken to Abuja for testing. Now, the Almajiri children who were recently deported from Kano, Gombe and the Plateau states have reunited with their families in Kaduna State. The children, numbering about 210, tested negative to COVID-19 after being quarantined for 14 days. Kaduna State government says the children will be returned to school, where they will continue their education in the localities. The Gombe State House of Assembly has summoned the State Task Force Committee on COVID-19 following the protests in 2 isolation centers last week at its facility in Kwadon community in Yamautu Deba local government area of the state. The Speaker of the State Assembly, Abubakar Kuba, who gave the directive on the floor of the House on Monday, said that the lawmakers want to know what led to the protests and what action has been taken to resolve the issues. Briefing journalist chairman of the task force, Idris Muhammad, said the committee will provide any information on the incident, noting that they have nothing to hide. Meanwhile, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAF, has condemned the demolition of hotels in Rivers State by the government. The civic group also threatened to take legal action against the state governor, Nyesom Wike, describing the demolition as illegal. We now move into the world of business, where the federal government on Monday kicked off the long-awaited resuscitation of the Ajakuta project with the inauguration of the implementation committee. This followed a renewed interest by the Russian government, who are working with the Africa Import and Export Bank to pull funds in excess of 1.4 billion naira to revive the steel plant, whose construction commenced about 42 years ago. And there's a sad news on the entertainment scene, as Nigerian movie star Chizoba Abusa has passed away. The Tinsel actress reportedly died after a long battle with diabetes, stroke and high blood pressure. Until her departure, Chizoba was a seasoned actress, producer and presenter. She was one of the cast of the epic-making flick Living in Bondage, and also known in the popular TV drama series Tinsel as Auntie Atinuke. Sad one day, and may her soul rest in peace. And that's it on AM News. I am Susan Achin.
Nice one.
News, like you said, actually making rounds this morning.
A lot happening.
Okay, let's take a look at the health minister talking about looking into the COVID organic from Madagascar.
Well, this whole Madagascar thing sounded like a joke. From their president coming out to say we have a cure, which is working, it has been tested, and then to the WHO saying no, we do not advise people. We should slow down. And suddenly, boop, from nowhere, different African countries, leaders are coming out to say
them already.
Committing resources into research about it.
So I'm asking myself, there must be something good in that place. But I'm asking, why can't other countries, take up this challenge?
I think the talking point from Nigeria I want us to take a look at is the fact that, okay, the health minister said they are going to look at it.
Because the president actually has given directive.
He was talking about, okay, we're having the antimacia plant in Nigeria, but he was trying to look at the breed we have, if it's the same or something similar, what are the characteristics, and then how it will be suggested for some tests by some bodies or authorities before it will be used. That's quite a good one, but we are looking for a situation where we can actually see the locally made ones in Nigeria.
And other African countries as well. Let's have a variety, of these cures, so that we can if the more the better. Because we'll have to be scrambling.
We're actually looking to people with different blood groups.
so that he can fit into different.
But at least before then, let this one come. Let's see if it's
to,
going to.
Yes, let it be established.
At least,
let's go through all the trials.
Beyond that, we are all Africans, and this is Africa. We're promoting each other. If Madagascar could get it, I don't see the problem for now about that. Ekiti discharging 5 patients.
Yes.
So you see, there's one way or the other. We should still promote that there is hope for COVID-19.
Yeah, and the entire country,
around the world, 902, almost 1,000 recoveries.
Which is good news as compared to the deaths.
Exactly.
The tally doesn't even. It doesn't tally.
Although may the souls of the departed rest in peace, but we're glad that we have about
it doesn't regard rather Ondo State recording their first death so far. How have they been able to manage all this
until this while?
I think it's something
it's been a long time.
See how we actually talk to the health practitioner in the state so that they could come out to tell us what
they're doing and what they're
also worrisome is the issue of intercepting.
How was a person able to move from Lagos all the way from Lagos down to Benin?
And he was aware,
that
he was aware
that he is positive.
Yes, and it sounds flimsy to me that his mom would advise him to come back. So and comparing it with the case of the other man from is it Lagos now, where the other man whose son Ekiti State now, where he said the son
should go back or cannot come into his house.
Like when you say
and the mother said,
when you say it sounded kind of flimsy to you, it's right because once we are not allowed to treat COVID-19 at home. So
you can't.
Why are you coming? What event in Benue that we've not heard about?
Maybe we don't know. Benue, I'm sure you can let us understand.
And then if he's saying he knew that he tested positive from Lagos, did he actually inform everybody in that vehicle so that he?
That is another question. So how many people stand the risk of contracting that disease? Who were in that vehicle? It sounds.
You see,
some things. You hear some things and you're wondering, should they even fly? I mean, it's sad.
Yeah, so many questions should still be asked to the police operatives that are on this road, the supposed borders, because how are people passing?
Interstate. There was an interstate ban.
Yes, and yet people are still being able to pass.
How many states you need to cross from Lagos before you get to?
That's a very long. I'm talking about road trip. That's a very long trip. And all the way
from Lagos down to people are still moving. We need to really check this.
That means if they were being stopped by security operatives on the way, they probably wouldn't have arrived. They probably would have been sent back.
Yes, to where they're coming from
before getting. Because what you're saying is really true. It's a very long trip. So for them to have been able to pass every barricade and then get to Benue, it's sad. It's really sad.
So where do we start from? Do Nigerians really learn?
A sneak peek into the move by the federal government to further strengthen the diversification of the economy, talking about rejuvenizing.
I am smiling. This is giving me so much joy. At this time,
despite COVID-19,
we actually heard much from that sector when the present governor of Ekiti State and the present chairman of Nigerian Governors Forum, the president of Dr. Kaide Fayemi was the minister in that regard. And we're actually jubilating when we got news that a whole lot of resources were being put into that,
channeled into that.
But like we said, he saw that he needed to go serve his people at the state, and he left that. But we actually saw where people were trying to do more contribution to that. So if this is coming at this time,
I mean, like we're talking about, looking at the brighter side.
The brighter side in a lot of things
that were neglected are just kind of popping up. So I don't want to say a blessing in disguise, but there's always a silver lining in every cloud.
It's even still in the spirit, or a science report is being reviewed and all of that. Lots of positive things from
things that were, like you were saying earlier. I was noting when you talked about a lot of things that had been more or less suppressed.
Yes,
things that were crooked.
I've been made straight.
Now, I mean, it's like they're left with no choice than to actually straighten just what you're doing right now.
Sadly, from the world of entertainment, we're losing that veteran actress. It's quite a sad one. I was doing my research yesterday and I saw that she was part of Living in Bondage.
That film won awards. Has been winning a lot of awards and getting a lot of accolades. Because it was a really epic movie.
For the movie to be revisited and remade again, tells a lot about the movie.
I think my own view again is that there are more serious illnesses or sicknesses
I mean,
apart from
looking at what
COVID-19. Diabetes,
what
yes.
led to her.
She died of diabetes, so she still showed that much awareness needs to still be done about diabetes. Probably
all these other
all this
High blood
other illness,
pressure,
high blood pressure, all these things still kill people despite
Yes.
COVID-19 is around the corner.
Yes.
But then we just pray to God that everybody is going to be fine.
There's hope eventually. There's hope. 902 discharged. We pray for more. We'll now move on across Africa to get some more news. Stay with us.
This is news across Africa on Daybreak Africa. An attack on Mitiga International Airport, the Libyan capital's only functioning airport, left a fuel tank ablaze, while passenger planes were also impacted. The government of National Accord have accused forces loyal to the rebel leader Khalifa Haftar of carrying out the attacks. Since Friday, May 8, at least 21 people were killed, according to the Interior Minister. The Transport Ministry said one of the damaged planes was preparing to fly to Spain to retrieve Libyans stranded in Europe by the coronavirus lockdown. Damage was visible in several residential areas close to the airport. The UN once again raised alarm that ordinary Libyans are bearing the brunt of the conflict. The attacks were the latest to target the airport in the capital, where the internationally recognized GNA is based. Haftar's eastern-based forces have been trying to seize Tripoli since April last year. Now, Tunisia recorded no cases of COVID-19 for the first time since early March, health authorities said on Monday, as the government announced it will further relax restrictions on movement and businesses. The North African country, which confirmed its first case on 2nd March, has reported 1,032 cases in total and 45 deaths. The authorities say 745 patients have recovered and only 11 are still in hospital. Tunisia started relaxing a nationwide lockdown last week, reopening parts of the food, construction and transport sectors and allowing half of government employees to return to work. Shopping malls, clothing stores and hairdressers are due to reopen on the 24th of May. The government said it expected the economy to shrink up to 4.3%, the steepest drop since independence in 1956. Now, Lesotho's coalition government has collapsed, leaving Prime Minister Thomas Tabane without enough seats to continue governing. The parliament speaker has announced, adding that Mr. Tabane had to step down by 22 May. The 80-year-old leader has been under pressure to leave office for months after he and his current wife were accused of orchestrating the murder of his estranged wife. The polio was shot several times outside her home in 2017 on the eve of Mr. Tabane's inauguration. Mr. Tabane and his current wife, Messiah, have both denied any wrongdoing. Many in Lesotho believe that Mr. Tabane has spent the last few months trying to lobby those in power for immunity from prosecution, but it doesn't seem like it will be happening. A spokesperson for Mr. Tabane's Al Basutu Convention, ABC, Mantole Moseta, told the BBC that Mr. Tabane will not be receiving any protection from the law. Mr. Mosesa said the Prime Minister and his ministers are expected to leave their post in the coming days, and a new Prime Minister will be sworn in as soon as possible. There is officially no government in Lesotho, and that needs to be addressed so as to ensure stability. We are working and making sure that happens, he said. The polio's murder case is still before the courts. Sudan has sent 300 military vehicles to South Darfur State following ethnic clashes which have killed dozens of people. The deputy commander of the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, Major General Abderrahim Haman Dagalo, is leading the force. He said his troop had recovered more than 10,000 head of livestock stolen during the clashes. The fighting between the Arab Arazikat and African Al-Falata was sparked by a dispute over livestock. There has been conflict in the Darfur region in Western Sudan for the past 17 years. There are no more than 60,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus across the continent of Africa, with a number of African countries imposing a range of prevention and containment measures against the spread of the pandemic, according to the latest data by the Johns Hopkins University and Africa Center for Disease Control on COVID-19 in Africa. The breakdown remains fluid as countries confirm cases as and when Lesotho is the only country holding out as at May 11. As at yesterday, May 11, 2020, the African continent had a total of 63,293 confirmed cases, 2,290 number of deaths, 21,837 recoveries, and 53 countries have been infected so far. A Tunisian non-governmental organization, Sustainable Food Bank, is distributing food supplies to families adversely impacted by ongoing COVID-19 restriction. The NGO has set up a food bank which distributes aid by SMS to some 300 families. The long-awaited initiative was finally launched at the end of April to coincide with the beginning of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. The initiative is part of a private sector effort to support government in easing the socio-economic impact of the virus on the vulnerable sections of the society. Farah, an employee of the grocery store partnering with the NGO, said, "This NGO helps us financially during this period. We have no more credit. We are paid via the platform and the money is sent to us in advance. Then the clients come here with the money they have received. The initiative targets families who have lost jobs because of the lockdown imposed to contain the spread of the virus." That is much we have on News Across Africa. Daybreak Africa continues shortly.
Coronavirus no be our friend, oh. Yo, yo, yo. Make we push am comot, yo. Corona, he no be our friend. Oh, yo, yo. Say make we push am comot, yo. My country people, you see this coronavirus, no be joke. Make we help ourselves and our government pursue this yamayama sickness from our country. Make we remember to wash our hand every time with soap and water. Make we no forget to sanitize our hand and wear face mask when we dey come out. Also, make we avoid crowd and keep social distancing when we come out. My people, if you see say you don't dey get symptoms, make you rush go hospital make dem treat you. Coronavirus no be our friend though. Make we remember say prevention better pass cure. Coronavirus no be our friend though. Yo, yo, yo. Make we push am comot, yo. Corona, he no be our friend. Oh, yo, yo. Say make we push am comot, yo.
Welcome back. You're still viewing Daybreak Africa on television Nigeria. You just listened to those news across Africa there. We'll now take you straight to our newspaper review segment where we talk about headlines making around the entire nation across different national dailies. We have Victor Tehemba, who will join us on the program this morning.
Good morning, Iris.
Good morning, Victor.
Yeah.
You're looking...
Take it away.
I like that.
I love the way, I love the way he feels himself. You feel yourself.
We actually have so many headlines from different national dailies this morning. Let's begin with the Daily Sun with the banner headline: COVID-19, Buhari OK's check on Madagascar herbal remedy. PTF confirms search for local cure, warns on cases explosion. Lagos, FCT, Ogun, Kaduna, Sokoto, Kano for World Health Organization's drug trials.
That's a very fantastic one. The president giving an okay for the testing of the herbal stuff from Madagascar. Yeah, it makes sense. Like, if you can't really want to rely on what we are doing and you choose to rely on what another country is doing, where it's still fine as long as you still get the same result.
The result that we're looking for.
I would actually want us to look at it like not relying on what we have, but exploring all options.
It's not.
Anyway,
that's how you want to look at it.
If you actually see that PTF confirms search for local cure as well.
Yes, but then this
search, but Madagascar has found.
Yeah,
so there's a difference.
The thing is okay, fine. We've gotten like 2 or 3 people who came out to say we have this herbal stuff, and then when you look at the ingredients, right, they are similar to
what Madagascar is using.
That Artemisia 3, it's constant in all of them. So it's like that is the major ingredient for the this herbal medicine. Yeah, but so it means we have it. It's not.
But these trials are the ones that they have.
Yes. No, we've not. So, but we are choosing to go trial for the ones that's coming out from. I think Nigeria doesn't just want to be left out because other African countries are also Senegal, Tanzania, Chad, less than Guinea-Bissau, DRC, the 2 Congos, DRC and the other Congo itself.
I think I would just love to go with your initial statement that regardless, at least we're going to yield to the same result at the end of the day. That's it. So let's move to the Daily Times newspaper. Federal government leased 5 states FCT for WHO Solidarity drug trials as Buhari orders PTF to subject Madagascar's herbal remedy to scientific analysis. Below that, insecurity. We have reduced farmers' herders' conflicts, Fintiri says. COVID-19, Akwa Ibom shuts livestock markets. Kano Anti-Graft Agency warns against diversion of relief materials. Gombe warns against politicizing fight against COVID-19.
All of them very, very interested in stories, but let's look at the federal government listing 5 states for the trial of drugs, and that's very fantastic. That at least something will go on, and this is coming from the WHO. So once these stuff are actually recommended, then maybe we'll not begin to see the use of it in our isolation centers or treatment centers and all of that. So 5 states, but the information is like we don't know when these trials are going to begin. But we just hope that it starts as soon as possible, because we really need a remedy
intervention as soon as possible.
When Trump, the president of the United States, came out to talk about some drugs like the chloroquine, which people actually kicked against, is among the drugs that WHO is actually certifying or bringing for China. Then the evidence we talked about Nigerian doctor in the US being among people who are actually concerned with production and manufacturing of this drug is another one. And then I saw Riponavir. They are basically antiretroviral drugs that actually boost up the immune system, like you were talking about the other day. So like you said, it's actually a good one.
It's a very good. Let's see how it goes from there.
It's a welcome idea.
From the Nation newspaper, the banner headline we have here says, WHO to begin drug trial in Lagos, Ogun, FCT, others. And above the nameplate, 7 billion naira fraud, conviction, no release order for Kalu. Convert Catholic hospitals, others to isolation centers. Why employers must get stimulus by NLC and TUC?
Okay, I will basically understand from the point of where NLC and TUC are coming from, because at this time, every single business have been affected by this COVID-19. I know some companies are also going to lose money. Apart from losing money, then they're also going to lay off staff. So I think the NLC and the TUC want that these businesses to have this stimulus package. So it helps them stay afloat. It also helps them maintain their staff so that you don't get to lay off staff and then push more people into the unemployment circle and all of that. So when you also move on, then there are other news there about what's this other one, this Kalu in the prison. Yes, you know, the court actually nullified his election. So you'd have expected that he would have been out of prison, but that happened like some days ago, and he's still in prison at the moment. So that was like, although the court has basically nullified the conviction, but we haven't gotten the release order yet. So that is the reason why he's being kept there. Then we'll see how that also pans out. People will say it's part of the politics that we play in Nigeria. So let's see how it goes.
Okay. Daily Trust newspaper. COVID-19 patients threatening health workers' lives at isolation centers. That's coming from the federal government. It's saying that COVID-19 patients are threatening the health workers' lives at the isolation centers.
It doesn't seem like something too extraordinary for Nigerians to do. Yeah, definitely. So you could be like, you know, shortage of materials at the isolation center would have pushed people requesting for things, and then they're not getting immediately, or maybe the whole service, or the whole treatment process is not going
it's not
as
favorable
fast as
for them.
They would have wanted. So, you know, they could be like, Madam, come and treat me, I'll cough on you. You know, so things like that. So it could just be part of those sort of trade. But then people just need to understand that at this moment, the health workers are really putting their
best.
They're putting their best and putting their lives also on the line. So the least you can do is to cooperate with them. Yes, and be patient, and they'll understand. If they have, I don't think it is their wish that anybody comes there and then doesn't get well. So if it's in their capacity, they will attend to everybody efficiently as they can and as fast as they can.
Okay, that's it.
All right, and from the Punch newspaper, the banner headline we have here says, COVID organic to be used when confirmed safe. and then working. That is coming from the Presidential Task Force. Federal government, WHO, carrying out drugs trial in FCT, Lagos, Kano, others. NCDC asks private laboratories to test suspected Nigerians.
So that's second D and last item. NCDC adding private labs to test suspected Nigerians. I think that was the collaboration we are actually talking about and seeking, that it should be between the government and the private sector. It makes the whole process, makes the whole thing go faster and all that. So right now we have about 21 labs from the NCDC, 21 labs across the country. So by the time you add the private labs, then you should have more numbers, labs. And then it means that this more tests can be carried out, and the results will come out faster than before. Yeah.
Okay. A Business Day newspaper. I have this one. Coping with lockdown, Nigeria's turn to baking. So Nigerians are now baking because of COVID-19.
Well, I don't know how much or how many people are doing the baking stuff at the moment, but at the same time, even if we are going to bake, who are those buying the cake at the moment? Or are you this in baking for home use or whatever? But then it doesn't matter. It is also a very valuable skill that even if it's not profitable at the moment, it will. At the end, it will still be definitely possible, and it's something that you can actually always fall back on as a private hustle or an independent business.
Because everybody is looking inwards now. COVID-19 is bringing out different skills in people these days, so they're trying to explore all options right now. As it is, man must chop.
Of course.
Okay, that's been newspaper review here on Television Nigeria, Daybreak Africa. We had Victor Tehemba with us for the newspaper review. Let's quickly go on a break. We'll be right back.
My name is Chino, so Collins Eze.
We understand you are related family to who is it to you, the disease?
It's my father.
Your father? What did they tell you he did?
He did not do anything. He did not commit any offense. So yesterday, the whole issue started yesterday. We were at my shop in Karumo here. So all of a sudden, some SACS officers, they were 6 in number. 3 were holding rifles, that's AK-47, and the other 3 were holding sticks. So they came down in front of my shop with a suspect. They came with one under baby boy and Sharon. So when they came down, 3 of them came down with rifle with one suspect. So we are pointing at one of my colleagues, that is my labor, that is also selling clothes, because I sell boutique clothes. So they asked my colleague that, do you know this guy? That is the suspect. Then my colleague said that he didn't know this guy. So on the process, they handcuffed him, and they were about to drag him to enter the Sharon that they came with. So on the process, now people were pleading. So my father came out from the shop. It was like accident, pleading on behalf of my colleague that they should calm down, they take things easy. That this guy is not a troublesome. On the process, one of the SACS officers then came out from the under baby boy. Cock is gone. The pointed is gone straight to my father's head and shot him. That was how everything happened.
Did you say your father committed any offense? Or?
My dad did not commit any offense. He was pleading on behalf of my colleague.
Were they present live?
Yes, we are present there.
What was your reaction when it happened?
Shot him. The other of my colleague, they forced him to enter the Sharon.
This is Television Nigerian, a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seats and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your number one choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on Nigecomsat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road, Beaufort Park, Colindale, London. For inquiries, Television Nigerian, broadcast beyond boundaries.
SACS officers, they were 6 in number. Three were holding rifles, that's AK-47, and the other 3 were holding sticks. So they came down in front of my shop with a suspect. They came with one under baby boy and Sharon. So when they came down, 3 of them came down with rifle with one suspect. So we are pointing at one of my colleagues, that is my labor, that is also selling clothes, because I sell boutique clothes. So they asked my colleague that, do you know this guy? That is the suspect. Then my colleague said that he didn't know this guy. So in the process, they handcuffed him, and they were about to drag him to enter the Sharon that they came with. So in the process, now people were pleading. So my father came out from the shop. It was like accident, pleading on behalf of my colleague that they should calm down, they take things easy, that this guy is not a troublesome. On the process, one of the SACS officers then came out from the under baby boy. Cock is gone. Then pointed is gone straight to my father's head and shot him. That was how everything happened.
Did you say your father committed any offense, or?
My dad did not commit any offense. He was pleading on behalf of my colleague.
Were they are present live?
Yes, we are present there.
What was your reaction when it happened?
After they shot him, then they dragged the other of my colleague. They forced him to enter the Sharon. Then the man that shot him, the SARS man, drove off. Immediately he shot him. He drove off. Then the other Sharon, they came with, followed them immediately with the suspect and my colleague. So gotten to Impresit, they dropped my colleague. They dropped him at the junction there. Collected his phone and his money. That's it.
Were you able to identify the location or where they are coming from, the station of those the SARS? Were you able to identify them?
Yeah, because when the incident happened, I reported to Karmo police station here. So they said they know the officers, that before they came to do they booked their name in Karimo police station here.
Presently now, what do you want the government to do now? Because I learned that there was protest going on since morning. What do you want the government to do?
Just justice. I just seek justice because my dad is a peaceful maker, very very peaceful man. Doesn't look for trouble. Everybody can testify of it.
Before then, we're looking at strict creed on security operatives, particularly shooting dead a man at Karimo.
Yes, I still try to understand the situation where the security personnel that we have in our countries who are supposedly to be our friends and our protectors here on earth, because we have the ultimate protector who is God Almighty.
Yes.
But I try to understand why these same people will be the ones killing us.
Which actually has made so many Nigerians lost confidence on these systems. But first of all, we would like to pray for the repose of the soul that actually life that was lost. May the soul rest in perfect peace. But remember, police brutality is something we've been trying to deal with in this country for
quite a time now.
Remember when there was a campaign End SARS because of similar incidents or occurrences,
but we don't see that happening.
Vice President was even given the mandate to lead that particular move then to see that SARS is basically work within what they were created for. Remember, it's a command under the Nigerian police, where they are meant to attend to suspected robbery cases. And I remember the Vice President actually talking about them attending strictly to only robbery cases or suspected robbery cases because they are anti-robbery squad. And when from the narrative the son of the deceased was actually given the other time, we did not get to hear a case of robbery.
Nothing like that.
Investigation.
He just said the father came out and then he asked, he was trying to intercede and okay, what's going on here? And before you know it, there was a gun and a bullet to his head, which led to his death. It's a very sad one there because I do not understand how you just can grow temper just like that and just shoot someone, take someone's life. That's human rights violation. Most people have actually been calling for the retraining of these officers where they need to go and learn human management because you are dealing with humans as long as your job is concerned. You need to deal with humans. And like we were saying, these are some of those things that actually give our country some of the images we don't really like or want to hear about in the international scene. Because the United States particularly refused to sell hardware, military hardware to us when we were fighting insurgency because of similar treatment. All right, let's launch Amazing Africa and go to the Republic of Benin and see for ourselves.
Let me tell you about Benin, a small but very beautiful country in West Africa. It's situated right here, between Togo, Burkina Faso, Nigeria and Niger. It's the birthplace of voodoo, which is still an official religion in the country today. It has a rich history, with some shocking and sad stories to be told as well. But we will get to that later. First stop is Ganvier in Lake Mikwe. Over 20,000 people live on the water here, which makes Ganvier probably the largest lake village in Africa. It all started in the 16th or 17th century, when the Tofinu people were looking for a safe place. They were running from being captured and shipped away as slaves. The name Ganvier means we survive. The main income nowadays comes from trading and fishing. And I bet you won't be surprised, the people here are often called watermen. On this lake you need to do everything by boat, so the fathers have one boat, the mothers have another one, and the children have one to go to school. So an ordinary family would have 3 boats.
Oh, really?
This is the Lover Street, so young people come here and then they meet each other. I mean, it's obviously a river, but that's what they consider a street. They shipped in sand to build the mosque on, so not everything is on poles here, but if you see sand, they brought it in manually.
This little Venice of Africa is really absolutely worth a visit if you make it to Benin.
This one is the first cathedral of West Africa, and over there is where we're going, Temple of Titans. They used to farm in this place, and here was a huge forest with a lot of pythons in it. And at some point the locals realized that the pythons were actually protecting the crops from small animals who would be eating them. And then they started to worship the pythons, and that's why they built this temple.
No, perfect. A lot of inside.
Every evening they open this door and the snakes can go out to eat or lay eggs, and they can come back. And sometimes they don't. But if locals around here find them, they will always bring them back. If you're afraid of snakes though, I would suggest maybe you get a hotel in another part of the town.
Only a few centuries ago, this country developed the biggest slave port in the whole of Africa. I want to understand more about what happened. So we follow the route of the slaves, starting at one of the forts. This Portuguese fort, or the Fort of St. John, was used by the slave traders. Slaves were kept in chains. There was no way you could escape.
You would assume that cannons like this are here to keep the enemy out, but actually it was the other way around. If slaves who were held here on the inside tried to escape, this was the threat for them. And if a cannon was not enough to scare you off, there was also hit with crocodiles, so you would kind of be eaten alive.
16th century to 19th century. That's 3 centuries.
It's easy to overlook the square, but it has a great historical importance because this is the place where actually the slave market was held for 3 centuries. So people from all over the place were brought here, and then there would be a negotiation about the price. And after that they were brought to a place a bit further where they were held for 2 weeks to see how strong they were.
Okay, in Fongbe, zo my in Fon language, it means light not in. After buying the slaves at the market, 2 weeks before traveling, they were all brought here. They put them in that building. That building normally should contain 200 people, more, at most 200, but they put 600 people in that building. They sleep one over the other, and 2/3 of that amount, 2/3 of that 600 died before the end of, because they spent 2 weeks like that without eating, without water, without no light inside the room.
If slaves survived all of these hardships, they had to walk this long road all the way to the beach. There, ships would be waiting for them to take them away.
Once you would be past this point, there was no hope of ever returning again, unless your spirit would return after you die.
Quite an informative one there from Amazing Africa, a trip to Benin Republic, where they talk about basically culture, where we saw some wildlife, and then
slavery,
and fishing as well.
Yeah. Victor said something.
Okay, about the
and I told him, I will quote him. He said, "Africa is a country and Benin Republic is a village." Victor, they're coming to get you.
No, like if you look at it critically, it's not a bad one. That's talking about how rich their cultural heritage is. So it goes.
They talked about slavery in a particular place that went on for about three centuries,
about 300
years. Wow.
And then where the trade had to go through some rigorous chores, or do I call them slaving?
Yes.
And then if they survive that, they have to walk through that long distance to the beach where ships are actually waiting to take them to where they are being bought. It's quite a sad one, or a bad one. But thank God we are talking about things in the past.
Yes. In case you're just joining us, unfortunately, we have to leave right now. This has been Daybreak Africa here on Television Nigeria. Remember to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Television Nigeria. My name is Messi Joe.
And my name is Elvis Oga. Thanks a lot for being part of the show today. Let's do this again tomorrow.